Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, March 10th, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Well, today was almost seemed anticlimactic and a bit boring, and yet, in truth, uh, I broke all time records, at least my personal records, for closed out profits today. And so I probably shouldn't complain too much, but I'll just get this off my chest. We had $430,000 in open trade on the close yesterday. And I would say, judging everything, it was like absolute perfection. It could not have had um, better trades, better market movement. Everything fell into place, clockwork like. And then last night, I'm watching the stock futures and they start moving higher and higher and higher. And what happened is the Dow opened up, I can't remember, like 700 points here this morning. And then they went down and actually took out the lows from yesterday. And then the rally, and particularly at the end of the day, very strong rally there at the end of the day, and the Dow ends up one 1,167 points. Now I've my brain's gone soft with all this volatility, but I think 1,167 points is getting pretty close to a record rally for the Dow, for upside action. We may have set a record on that. So this was not the greatest day to be holding $430,000 in short positions. So what happened? I'll just get it off my chest right away. We went from 430,000 in open trade equity, and when we close this out totally, we closed out $282,534, and what that works out to, that we gave up about $150,000 off the top of that 430,000 that we had in open trade, or about a third of what we had. Now, I could get pretty upset about that, but how can I get upset about closing out $282,000 in profits? I really can't. I, I just, I can't, I've never come even close to closing anything like that out before. I mean, this is just totally shreds all my previous trading records over 25 some years, except with managed money where I had, many millions of dollars, but no, not with $500,000 cash account have I ever come close to closing out 282,000. So I got to consider it a great day. Now, it's just, stock markets never do what you want. My dream scenario would be that the market didn't open there, but it opened down here and then did this big rally, all day long to go as high as it did. If it had opened down here, we would have probably gotten all that 430,000 plus. We probably would have gotten 500,000 if it had opened down here, but it didn't. So, hey, that's life. I'm pretty happy with over a quarter of a million closed out. I think anybody will. So anyway, that's the way it went. Um, we got into 7 or 8 new stinking positions. We were buying stuff up here, and first it went. We were down. I think 16, 17,000 down here, but then it comes back, and we closed out with negative 3,600 with 8 positions, 3 positive, 5 negative. So this is not. I mean, right now this is not a market you want to go buying in. I don't care if the Dow went up 1167. The trend is decidedly down, and this just isn't the time to start buying yet. We'll start buying here pretty soon, but this was not the day. So I'm just happy that our negative number isn't worse than 3,600. That's we can absorb that. All right, I'm going to show you 3 of those great trades that we had. They're represented. We had, I think, 8 of them. I'm going to show you 3 of them and show you kind of what happened. This first is TVIX, which is of course the short on the overall market. And you can see here over on Thursday, all these trades were bought on Thursday. On Thursday, we bought it on the little gap here. It closed quite favorably in our favor. It gapped again on Friday, and then it kind of scared me with this sell-off at the end of Friday. But then, of course, Monday, it jumps way up here again. That puts us in for a third day. And then, yeah, I mean, we're up well over $50,000 up here. Anyway, it gaps down today, and we had to get out. Well, I was happy to get out, I shouldn't say. And so it's kind of a bad exit, but we took $32,000 out of TVIX. That's down from a high of probably 55,000 or something. But we did get $32,000 out of that. But the best trades were still in oil, even though they pulled back also. And I was gonna show you the last one, but since I got it up, this is all on the same show. I'll show you. This was our best energy stock. This is DRIP, which is Inverse Oil and Gas Exploration. We bought this about the middle of the day on Thursday. It closed against us. It gapped up on Friday, moved very powerfully for the rest of the day on Friday, but then on Monday this does this humongous gap up, and up here on top, this trade's worth like 150,000, 160,000, something like that. And so I'm really happy about that. But then it does this big sell-off. Then it comes back and it makes a strong rally near on the last 15 minutes yesterday, and we closed that with about $130,000 in open trade. And then, God, it does this huge gap down on the open, but we don't get out on this opening range. We held it, and we got out here, which may not look so great, but whether you think that's great or not, that was still worth $80,000. So we went from a high of 150, 160,000 to our out, which was at $80,000 today. And then finally, I'll show you DWT, and this is Inverse Crude Oil. Obviously a very similar to all these energy stocks, but we bought this on Thursday with about an hour to go. It gaps up on Friday, and then another huge gap here on Monday, yesterday, but it really didn't pull back the way DRIP did, and then it rallies very strongly toward the end. We had, I forget how much, we had a lot of money in DWT here on the close yesterday, and then big gap down today, but we did get out of there pretty good considering the gap. And we got out of DWT with $51,000. So, I'm showing you trades, all of which really went badly today, and yet our profits are $32,000, $51,000, and $80,000 respectively on the threes. So those are pretty good. As I say, hey, it was a $282,000 profit day. I can't complain. This is Trader Bob signing off, and I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday.